Hi everybody, welcome back to DayZ. Now, I got a really good question from somebody that I'm not sure if I've answered before. And that is, Mike sent me an email and he said, Sir, I enjoy your videos and they've been very helpful. Well, thank you very much, Mike. I have a DayZ 1.29 question. If I am running a DeerIsle server, I'm under the impression that the 1.29 update will not affect me. Is that correct? If not, please explain, since DeerIsle is a mod and not an official release. Excellent question, Mike, because, yeah, you're absolutely right. So, DeerIsle, let me see if I can find it. Where is it? There we go. DeerIsle is a PC-only mod for DayZ. And you're right, because it's not a part of the main game. Surely, when the game updates from 1.25, 2.6, 2.7, 2.8, 2.9, 1.30, 1.31, it doesn't affect it. Unfortunately, though, Mike, it does, and it does for a number of reasons. The first one is the fact that you get new stuff normally on every update. So you'll get new weapons, or you get new gear, you get new uniform, you get new headsrests, you get new vehicles, or something like that might well happen. And what that means is then that the mission files will change. So how things spawn in on the map. So what that would mean for something like DeerIsle is that you'll have to download the latest mission files and install them. So for example, John McClane for DeerIsle, he keeps the mission files on a GitHub, from what I understand. So you need to, after the update goes live on public servers, you'll probably find, and I'd imagine you're part of the DeerIsle Discord, you'll probably find a message you'll go out saying, look, I've updated the mission files to add in the new stuff. Or maybe he won't bother. He'll say, look, there's nothing worth adding in these, and therefore you want to download these and you want to update your mission files. So, your types.xml, your CFG spawn all types.xml, or your events.xml, all that sort of stuff. You may well get new types of events as well. So if you remember, in the main game, when we had event groups came along, so with an event group we could now have the trains, and we could now have the military convoys and the police events. So that was a new way of doing things. And then I'm not sure whether John McClane has put them into DeerIsle, but it's something that that a mod creator, a modder, may well want to include as well. The other thing that happens is that with updates, often you may well get some real back-end changes to the way that the code works as well. So they may well include a completely new mechanic into the game. So it might be a new type of weather that gets included. It could be a new way of physically moving around the map. So in terms of being able to climb onto things, I'm trying to think of things in the past that have happened that have been disruptive. The devs inside and on the back end, a few updates ago, they did a change whereby the way that certain objects were spawned in changed, which meant that all of a sudden, particularly on DeerIsle, a load of concrete platforms didn't line up anymore. I can't quite remember the details, but it meant that it caused a big furore at the time. It meant that modders had to go back in and look at their custom builds and change lots of things. On the top of my head, one of the things that's changing, for example, on this update is the way that gas mask filters attach to gas masks in the code. And that might seem like a very minor thing, but unless that gets changed, it means that if gas masks on a server before spawned in with filters, unless the mission files get updated, they won't get updated now. And so you can have things that just kind of slightly break a server but allow it to keep going, like mission files. If you don't update your mission files, generally all that happens is you don't get the new stuff, which isn't the end of the world. Through to things that really do break a mod, where, for example, like the concrete platforms don't line up anymore, or it could be something like really integral to the way that some of the mechanics work for that particular map or that particular mod that just means it doesn't work anymore. And often this can happen with servers and mods that rely on other servers. So something like, it could be an admin mod that you need to run with your server, that the update breaks that particular admin mod, which means that then your server doesn't work. So that's why we have DayZ Experimental. So the idea is that in the run up to 1.29 being released officially, we have update 1.9 experimental, which is available for us as PC and Xbox players to play on and give feedback to the devs, but it also allows modders to test their existing mods on this new build. The problem can often be, though, that the experimental build that modders are allowed to use and we're allowed to play on often isn't the final build that comes out when it goes public. The DayZ devs will make other changes, so often they will test things and get things to work, but then it releases and maybe there's something else that's been slipped in that they didn't know about, or it could be they just simply haven't got enough time to update their mod by the time it goes public. Also, you'll get orphaned mods, so mods that are no longer updated anymore. And then if the devs of the game update the game in a way that breaks the mod, then that mod is broken unless someone else comes along and picks it up and starts working on it, if they've got access to the unbinarized files and things like that. So to summarize your answer is that yes, each update will and can affect you when you run a modded map, but it will affect you in different ways. And the best thing to do is to keep an eye on that Discord. Keep an eye on, for example, John McLean's Discord. See what people are talking about. Do searches for update 1.29. See if there's any problems they've identified in experimental. And be aware that when the update is happening, if things do break, don't panic. It's a natural part of the life cycle of a DayZ update process, in the fact that mods do break, and modders aren't professional programmers largely, and so they do have to respond to these things in their spare time. So there we go. Hopefully that kind of answers some of the questions about how updates can affect you. But don't let it put you off. The beauty of the fact that we do have updates is the fact that we do have them. So this game that is over 10 years old is still being updated. Now, we know DayZ 2's round the corner, don't we? We know DayZ 2 is over that hill, probably 2027 when Armour 4 comes out. So there's going to be some interesting times ahead, but they're still updating the old game. So there we go. So anyway, that's enough from me. Hopefully I've answered your question, Mike, and if I have, hit the like button. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe, and of course I'll see you again soon.